everyone. In just a moment, I'm going to be introducing author James Hankins, and his newest book, which is coming out this week, is called A Blood Thing. And I love this book so much. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's a thriller. They have it under thriller, suspense, crime. I want to say it's more like a crime novel, but the way he developed these characters, you become so enmeshed in their lives. And I just love the brother sister love that goes on throughout the whole book. And, it's a family thing. So here is James. Hi everyone, I am so excited because I am speaking with author James Hankins, and we are talking about this book, A Blood Thing, which is out today. And I'm doing a book giveaway on Instagram. I have 5 of these, okay? So today, go over to the Instagram account and you can enter to win one. And I'm so happy that I have this. I mean, just to have the physical book, I love reading the Kindle and everything, but I'm a book person. I'd much rather have the book. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh, James. So now that this book has been floating around for, you get all these people and, NetGalley gives out all these, all the books. And so I went on Goodreads today just to see, and you are getting fantastic reviews for this already. Okay.
I'm certainly grateful for that. It seems to be resonating with the readers so far, so that's always my goal.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it a crazy world where you can go on Goodreads, the day before your book release, and there's like 30 reviews already?
Well, I mean, word of mouth is the biggest, marketing strategy we have, and it's the most effective one we have. And everybody who reads it and tells other people they like it, that's just a bonus for me and for all authors, really.
Yeah, and it just seems like a whole new world because of NetGalley and I'm gonna turn my phone off. Because of NetGalley, like, people can get them ahead of time. And that pre-buzz is so important now. It's like the pre-buzz to the release date, which is something in our world, and we're about the same age. I might be older. But, you walk into a bookstore and you're like, so what's come out in the last month? Like, we already know. And it's an amazing world of books and everything. So you are getting great reviews, and I love this book. You don't need me to tell you this, but I did. So
I'm glad to hear that.
So another person to tell you, I love a great thriller. I love a great political thriller. I mean, I got hooked on those years ago, but I don't read as many now. But then when I read this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a great political thriller. And so you tell us how you came up with this story.
Well, it's funny. I don't generally work in the world of politics in my books. It just fit this story. I figured out what story I wanted to write, and it turned out that it worked best with a politician. This is the first book of mine ever that started with a title. Titles usually come last for me, and I've been essentially happy with my titles, but they don't always come easy to me. And for some reason, I came up with this one. And there's a lot about the theme, the strong family theme in this book. That's really at the heart of the book. And so the phrase "a blood thing," meaning that you'll do things maybe for family you wouldn't for others, resonated with me. And then I realized the word blood in there, which appears in all sorts of thriller titles, it really was perfect. So when I came up with the title, I thought, well, it's going to be about family and family protecting family. And then I just sort of spun it out from there, who would be protecting whom in the family and why. And in this book, it's everybody sort of protecting everybody. And so that's really where the title came from, and the heart of the book being about family. But then when I thought about who I would want to protect, I decided I wanted an innocent family member to be protected by others. And then it just worked out that it is centered around the beginning of a politician being given a cell phone by a mysterious character. And he says, hang on to this, Governor. You're going to need it after the arrest. And then it's all about what happens after the arrest and what the phone's all about and who's protecting whom.
Yeah, I love that. I love that part because, of course, right away you're sucked into who was that? Who just did that?
You have to suck people in pretty quickly these days. You got a page or two, maybe at the most, to grab them, and otherwise they've moved on.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, unfortunately, readers have so many choices nowadays. Like they can just, I see it all the time when they give reviews. They're like, oh, I read 10 pages and I moved on and then I gave it up. And I'm like, what? Don't give it up. Don't give it up at 10 pages. Keep going. But that's just the audience, that's just what you're up against. But I'm going to tell everybody, I love a great first line. I am a sucker for first lines because I like to see where you are. I like to get in the author's head, and it's like, because you have a lot of choices to go with the first line, and then you have to stick with, once you do that, I know there's a reason that you pick that, because that's what hooks everybody. Well, it hooks for people like me. So I'm going to read this. It's a little bit long, but that's okay. If Sally Graham had stopped at 4 beers tonight, maybe even 5, she might have noticed that the front door of her apartment wasn't locked when she got home, though she always locked it when she left. Okay, so right away we know things aren't going to go well for Sally, okay?
It wouldn't be a great chapter if things went just fine for Sally after that.
But I love that first line because you kind of just, first of all, you introduced her, and then instead of just saying things aren't going well for Sally, you told us why these are not going to go very well for her.
Well, what I did was too in that chapter. So she comes home, and this is the first few pages, so I'm not really giving much away. Right. She comes home, and then she spends a few minutes going about coming home rituals and getting ready for bed. And in the back of the reader's mind, well, why was the door unlocked? So she doesn't really notice it because she'd been drinking, but the reader from the first sentence knows, wait, something's not quite right here.
Right. And I love that, I love the difference, if she had stopped at 4, maybe 5. So you realize that she's like, not just a little, she's pretty inebriated at that point. She's like, not really noticing too much at that part. But yeah, so right from there, I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. I can tell by his writing. I can tell by, how you started the story off. And did you come up with that? Like, what did you do with that first line? Like, was that something you really worked on, or was it like right away?
Well, I write I write in order chronologically from beginning to end. So that really was the first sentence I wrote in the book. I'm sure I tweaked it, 24 times to get it just right, and the clauses and the phrases and the commas where they needed to go. I will often revise my first sentence. That was the first sentence I typed in the book.
Oh, that's because a lot of times what I do and what I did with your book is I read it all the way through, and then I go back and I reread the first, if not the first chapter, at least the first couple of pages, and I'm like, oh, see how he set us up there? That was so brilliant. Then I get to see how brilliant you did that. And I don't know, I've been telling people more and more to do that. When you, especially a thriller, read it and then go back. And then you're like, oh my gosh, so much is right there. Because you give us a little bit as you go, just a little bit.
That really is one of the biggest challenges of writing thrillers and suspense. And it's even more so in mysteries, which I've dabbled in a little bit too. You're walking a razor's edge because you have to put things out there. You can't have everything come out of left field later on. You have to, you have to sow seeds, and then you want them to bear fruit later on, and you want people to say, "Boy, I should have seen that coming because it was there, but I didn't." That's really what you're shooting for.
Right, and then you don't want to make it so out of left field that people are like, "Oh, it was the gardener," and I didn't even.
Right. Right.
But okay, but one of the people, you did this from multiple points of view, and one of the points of view was from the guy the blackmailer. So that was very interesting. And I know you don't want to give much away, but like, how was writing that?
I think every one of my books, I have points of view from the bad guys too. I really like it. It's you take yourself to some dark places sometimes. And you have to think in ways you don't think in polite society, but it's really interesting, and you get to let your wild side out a little bit. It really was kind of fascinating for me to get inside this guy's head and why he's doing it and the way he's doing it and what compels him to do what he's doing in certain ways. I really did enjoy that.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed those chapters. I have to tell you, like just seeing what was in his head. And we won't give spoilers, but I'm just like kind of going on that journey with him was just really intriguing. Like it kept it, I found myself being like, oh, good, it's chapters on him. I get to read more about him.
Good.
No, I really did. So
well, they say, and I think it's really true. A good villain makes a good book.
Right.
If you don't have a villain that people are afraid of and a little creeped out by and interested in, I don't think they're going to be really hooked by the book itself, no matter how good your other characters are.
Yes. And that's what I love the part about the brothers and sisters, because I know you have you have a lot of brothers and sisters.
I do.
I only have one brother, but I gave birth to a lot of brothers and sisters. I have 6 children, and you're from, what, 6 or 7?
It's true, 6.
6, yeah. So you know what it's like. And, not so much, but I do love watching them from afar, especially as they're becoming adults. And, well, my oldest is 31. So, watching that relationship as they have children and knowing, I used to always tell my mom, it's not fair because when I'm mad at him, like, I have to make up with him, or I don't have anybody to play with. Like, I don't have any choices. But I watch them do that, like fight with one and then go to another and then fight. I mean, is that kind of how you guys did it too? Like,
but there's a big age difference between my oldest sibling and me. It's 13 years.
Yeah.
So the older ones were almost like parents to some degree. They helped raise me.
Right.
And the ones that were closest to me in age were more like playmates. But part of the real joy in writing this book, which I said, family is the central theme really, and how far you can go to protect one another. Writing the familiar relationships, the sibling relationships, was probably the greatest joy in the book for me.
Oh my gosh!
And again, a line I had to walk was making them endearing, making their relationships believable, and full of respect and love. But also, I had to show the realism of the cracks that might form when you're under stressful conditions. So I wanted it. I couldn't have it be all sunshine and roses. They bickered, as family will do, but they bantered as family will do. And I think in the end, that they were always close. But I tried to paint them in a realistic way as well as an entertaining way.
Yeah, my children have a large, 16 years between the oldest and the youngest too, so I get that, And it was funny, my oldest daughter's birthday was this weekend, and my second youngest son, my 2 youngest sons are still living with me, and I said, did you say happy birthday to your sister? And he was like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me? She's gonna be so mad. He's like sitting there. Like, it's kind of funny because the older ones have a little bit of fear over, you see the younger ones like looking up to, like you said, kind of like, pseudo parents, like. But in this case, what I loved, okay, so I know you have a set of twins, and then you had twins in this book.
Yes.
So was that fun, even though you have 2 boys, right?
2 boys, and this was a
boy and a girl.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, it's always, there really is a special bond between twins, and I try to capture that. And in this book, one of the twins, Tyler, who is kind of the heart of the story, right. I think. Yes. And he is the one who is he's the one who's framed for murder, leading to the blackmail of the governor and all of the things that spin off from that. But he suffered a traumatic brain injury when he was 7 years old, Tyler did. So he's mentally arrested about the age of 11. So his relationship with his sister it was always close, but she is his sister and protector and acted as mother at times. So they have a different kind of relationship than my twins do. But I do think that twins generally very often have a very special relationship. And again, it was, with family being the central theme here, this was just digging into, focusing down a little bit more on one different, type of family relationship, that of twins.
Yeah, and I loved seeing how protective all of them were of him.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she was the most protective of him. I mean, we find out, different things about their relationship, but she was like his mom, but not his, but his sister. And because of, because of his injury and, but I loved, seeing that how protective, even as older brothers, they were for him. And, and, what we find out what they are. That's okay. I just had my phone on too. So. Just seeing what brothers and sisters will do for each other, and which is the theme. And I thought you wrote that so beautifely.
Thanks so much.
I love the brothers situation. I have 4 boys, so I love that. And you've got boys, and then you've got brothers, so you had a lot to. A lot of research. Lots to draw from. Okay, so this is coming out today. You're having big, lots of fun, lots of, book signing. I'm sure you've got book signings around where you are. And
I'm busy, but tonight's just going to be dinner with my wife and kids.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. So okay, so I know that like once the book comes out, you've already got something else in the works. So what
Yeah.
can you tell us about the next one?
I don't really talk much about my works in progress. It's
Okay.
funny because I've done that, and then things will change, or I've switched projects, and then I'll see somebody at a writers' conference, and they'll say, hey, how's that book about the mountain, the mountain retreat? And
The
I'm
mountain.
thinking, I'm writing about a desert, story now. So sorry. So I honestly, I really don't like to talk, and it sucks a little of the magic away for me to talk too much about it. I like to finish it. But nobody really knows much about it until I'm almost done.
Wow.
My editor will know the concept in my and maybe get a paragraph or a page about what I'm doing, and my agent knows, and my wife knows, but nobody reads it or really hears much about it till it's finished, because I like to it's I'm in my bubble for a while, my writer's bubble, where nobody gets inside,
Right.
and so I like to wait. I like to wait to talk about my new things.
Well, is this your fourth book, A Blood Thing?
It's my seventh.
Oh my gosh! Because I kept seeing people on Goodreads like mention like 3 or 4 of them, and so I was like, okay, so it's your 7th. So do you come? Is it usually like a once a year? I mean, is that?
Yeah, that's about the way the schedule works. Sometimes it's a little shorter, sometimes it's a little longer. I'm not on a every June it comes out schedule,
right.
but it's working out to about once a year.
Wow, because everybody is saying this is your best book yet. I mean, that's what I keep seeing that theme over and over again. People who've read all your books are like, this is his best one. This is his best one.
You always want your next one to be your best one.
That's right.
I love it. I mean, I really do. I do think it's one of my best. I really do. I'm very excited.
But what I like seeing is when people are like, I read this one, and it's my first one that I've read of his, and now I went and ordered all his. I saw that like numerous times, that they went and ordered all your other ones.
So, I love seeing that too.
Yeah. Well, I love seeing it because I'm like, yes, because you can make fans that, like every book creates that many more fans that are going to go back and read your other books. And that's.
I do see that a lot in my reviews. I've never read this author before, and I just went and ordered all of his other books. I mean, that is it's one of the best things you can hear, because you know that you've made a fan. You've gotten a reader who's going to be loyal, and my guess is if they liked it that much, they're going to tell other people about it. Which brings us back to the whole word of mouth thing. That's the best marketing tool we have. Is if you tell everybody how much you love this book, then they're going to read it, and they're going to tell 2 friends, and so on and so on.
Yeah, and you're being compared to some pretty famous guys like Brad Parks and Charlie Dunley, and so you're in good company. I think you're in. I love those guys, and I love when I see that, because I'm like, that is so awesome, because it's authors supporting other authors, and I love when I see that. It's a huge community out there.
It's a very supportive and inclusive community. I really feel lucky to be a part of it. It's it's one of the industries where it may seem like it from the outside, but you're not really competing with the others, because there's always room on your Kindle or on your bookshelf for another book. And if you like mine, well, then somebody else who writes stuff similar to mine, you're going to buy his books too, or hers, and it works the reverse way too. So people say, oh, he's kind of like a Harlan Coben, which is a comparison I get a lot and love, along with the other guys that you mentioned.
Yeah.
If somebody reads their books and sees a comment like that, then maybe they buy mine. So it really is supportive, and a high tide raises all the boats, and it really is that way.
Yeah, especially because as readers, we read we don't read a book like we read a lot of books.
Yeah.
So
the author comparison is a real shorthand way of saying, here's why you might like this book.
Right.
That's why it's helpful. He reminded me of Harlan Coben. And then if you like Harlan Coben, you know exactly, what to expect. And, whether or not I want to buy that book sight unseen, well, maybe if I like Harlan Coben books, or James Patterson, whoever else you're being compared to.
There's a good one. Well, I'm going to show everybody one more time. This is the cover. I love this cover. Love it. What a great cover. Were you happy with this?
I love it. I've designed several of my covers. I didn't have much to do with this one, and I was really happy with it. I was thrilled. I like that cover a lot.
Oh, yeah. That's amazing. So, everybody, I will be giving away 5 of these on Instagram today. So, go over to Instagram. The link will be listed below, and you can enter to win one of these. And I just want to thank you for sending me 5 so I can give them away, because I love giving books away. But anyway, thank you so much. I wish you all the best. This week is going to be fun for you, and I wish you all the best. And you don't need me to say that; it's doing amazing. So I'm really happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. We'll talk to you soon, James.
Bye.
Bye. For watching, everyone, and I know we had some technical difficulties. We're on the East Coast. There have been storms rolling through. The only reason I didn't stop him is because the audio was so good. So even though the picture kind of goes in and out, it is what it is. We work with Skype and do what we can, but I hope you realize that like by the end it started straightening out again. We got it like halfway that he was good, and then it wasn't good, but I'm sorry about that. And but like I said, we could hear everything he had to say. This book is crazy good. If you like a good suspense thriller, go get it. All his links will be listed underneath here, and thank you for watching.